And here we go. Good morning, everybody. This is Friday morning. Let's see, September 25th. We'll be going to about 9:30 today. And let's get the disclaimers out of the way. The trading in foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before deciding to invest in foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with the foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. This is a live trading room. It is for educational purposes only. No financial advice or recommendations will be provided, and any trades taken during this live session is not a recommendation or suggestion that you should also do the same. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Do not trade money that you cannot afford to lose. And before trading live, always operate with a trade plan that identifies rules for entries, exits, targets, and risks management. And hang on just a second here. I'll be right back.
So how are you today, Matt?
Super.
Good stuff. How's the little guy?
Good. He's sleeping.
That's good.
Yeah. All right, I'm back. Okay, let's go to the charts. I had a dog jumping up on me while I was trying to do that thing, a little spiel.
Well, there you go, getting attacked again.
Well,
look at you.
This is her normal play time, and I'm not in the mode to be playing at this time of the day, so that's just going to wait. That's going to wait. It has to be. So we did have an alert at this morning at let's see, what was it? I think it was 5:45 with the U.S. U.S. CAD, and actually we have one at 7:30 on the U.S. Swiss. Let's take a look at that one since that one is more prevalent here. And we're going to go to the 15-minute chart. Going to clear my chart. And we're going to put some, close that out, close this out, just clean it up as much as we can here. 15-minute chart, we're going to start with a fresh screen. This was at 7:30. There's our, and it was a US Swiss ascending. So we're looking at going from low to high. Here's probably the area that we're looking at. This is a nice big move up. Here's the wedge area that we're going to be focusing on right now. So we're going to go from the ascending. It's going to go from low to high, come back down, see if we can find something that we can draw on. And we're going to have to expand this out and see what we can do here.
Yeah, there's a couple nice ones here. You can either make it really big or pretty small.
Yeah, I think I kind of prefer to make it bigger, actually.
Gives us more room to play, right?
This is going to be really big here. So we're going to go from low to high to a higher low to a higher high.
Oh, from the 23rd.
Yeah, let's see. Well, we're ascending, so we're going from we want a triangle going. And you can see that it's trending somewhat in the. You can see where it's trending up. The channel is trending up, and this is a channel that's playing in right here. So, but here's where the alert was. So let's see if we can figure out something on this. Let's go to so I'm going to make this one the higher time frame. This is the channel zone basically that we're looking at trading. Make that one orange, and let's go and take a look and see if we can find something that may work with this. If we can take the A over to this level here, take the B up to the high, here's a C to a higher low. Here's the ascending part. We can maybe, I'm not sure we can tuck it in much closer than that. We'll see if we can get it on a little different chart. I'm not really liking the way this is drawing out with being the ascending so tight up here.
It's a very tight one, which means that with this kind of move up, it's probably going to be a continuation of the move because it's so. It actually could be a really good trade, Al. To
the upside.
Yeah, to the upside, because it's so tight.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm not selling this at all.
Yeah, I'm going to. Let's see, where can we go with this one? Let's see if we get anything on a 1 minute that make it a little bit easier to draw it. Part of the problem is it's already way out here. It hasn't broken through the top. Basically, we need to break through the top of this orange trend line. I'm just going to keep this thing coming out because right now it's still basing in here. I'm going to tuck the B over here. I'm going to have to move this thing out some. I'm not really thrilled about this one, but it is what it is. As far as drawing it, I think it could be, like I said, I think you're right, it could be a good trade. Just a question of how we're going to draw this thing to make it. You know, I do like, I mean, I think this is about as ascending as it's going to go with a flat top, I think is probably what we're going to have to do with. So I'll bring the A back here and B up to where the D is, which is that channel, and bring the C up to a flat top, which brings the C down to the next higher low, and then find my D and flat top D up here with the B.
Morning,
I think
Ruben.
that's about as best as we're going to get with this one here. So right now, if we get a break to the upside, we're looking at a target. We're going to have to come to a much higher time frame to be able to find out where the target of this would be. So I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. I see nothing over here, so I'm going to go to a higher time frame and go to a 1 hour and see if there's anything. Nothing on a 1 hour. Nothing. We have to come to a 3 hour chart before we come. Here's a nice big red move candle down. Here's a wick, which is above, we're about right where our D is. So this is the area that's actually referencing here. And let's go with this. Here's a nice strong move down. I'm going to take this little wick right here and draw it on across. So let's use that for a reference and see where we are with that. I'm going to take that, this for a target. And we make this one up here, clone it. You know, this is all, I said I'd come all the way to a 3 hour chart to find this little zone right here. And I'm going to mark the bottom of the zone and see if we're even anywhere close to being inside of that. So this is where the area where it got broken. And let's take a look at our 15-minute chart and see where we're at with it all the way over here. This would be the target zones. This is where it's bouncing pretty much off the bottom of this area here. So this is going to be the last wick on that 3 hour chart right up in this area. So I'm going to put this, make this a supply area. And this is an area just to be noted here. And we'll go to our 5 minute chart and see what we have on this. And just a second here. Okay. Come on down. Let's see this. So right now we're looking for a little bit of retrade. We have a 62 moving average right down on this one. We have our 62 on our 15-minute way down here. So that's pretty much right by our red fib line. This thing could pull back a little bit, and
I think it's gonna fake people out. I think it's gonna fake people out if they try to get in this right now. I think it's gonna come down, make a big move down, and then shoot up.
Yeah, right now I say it's going to respect that. Right now, all the moving averages are inside the wedge on all 3 time frames. This one's starting to break out on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15. Here's our 62 on the 15. So I'm going to make a reference to that one right over here. We'll change that as it moves along. 1562. Here's the 6. I would expect it to get a bounce off of this area right in here, which is right above which is in our fib zone. Let me make sure I got a 5 minute. Yep, I'm on a 5 minute.
Here we go. Let's see what
happens.
Right now,
right now, it's sort of respecting this this area right in here. I would need a close inside this area before, but if we got a close in here, I'd be more apt to go long within this area as opposed to taking it short, just because we got the 62 right in this area right here. Let's see, where's my enter to close? And we'll see if we can get a reject of this area I'm just going to take this D. I'm just going to put it right on top of that trend line. I do like the break to the upside better than I do the downside, and the U.S. is strong, so the U.S. is the stronger of the first of the pair, still stronger than the Swiss. They're both in the middle of the range of the 8 currencies that we look at. So it's not overly strong. Right now, they're still kind of fighting for position to see who's going to overtake who this morning. So we'll just have to wait and see. Wait and see. Because I'd be more apt to see a bounce. If this thing bounces off in this zone, I'd be looking at, maybe I'd be more apt to take it long as opposed to taking it short. Let me see what it looks like on another chart here. Not overly excited about this one period. You know, we don't have to take every trade. A lot of times we take them just to show you how it works and just the mechanics of it. But not every trade is a tradable trade or is a, I mean, a lot of times you can swing the bat and go for a hit, but and we're still trying to decide, and you have to decide for yourself what trades look good to you, which ones make the best projected chance of winning and that sort of thing. But right now we are in the upper part of the zone. We could come down and retest this very easily, which we have to the downside of the wedge where our low C is, which is where this whole move started. I would not be surprised to see this thing retrace 50% of this A to D zone that we have over here. And a 50% move is going to put us right about where this 15-minute 62 moving average is. It does have strength to the upside for the most part.
Let's see.
Wait. Anybody have any comments on this one? And this is, we call this Open Line Friday. So anybody that wants to open their mics, put your mics on, and we'll let you, Ruben. Oh, Ruben, there you are. Oh, shoot. We forgot to put you in here, did we? Hang on, Ruben.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Or maybe someone sees something else on the charts. Or
Yeah.
maybe there's something,
or questions,
or you just want to talk. Just while we're waiting for this to either break out. Now, I personally believe that it will come down. It'll do that retest. It might come down 50% of that move, but I am holding on very strongly that the impulsive side of the move is going to be a break towards the upside.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Ruben.
Morning, Ruben.
How are we all doing?
Oh, well, we're looking at this US Swiss, and we're seeing if it's going to break to the downside. Right now, we're looking at I'm looking at a test of this zone right in here. We got a break. Do have a break of this trend, which is between our 5-minute chart. We do have here's where this little nice strong move. This is where we had the wedge alert. And I'm looking at this area where we had the alert, came down, couldn't take out the A, formed our C, retested. This is the orange part is a major channel that this thing has been trading in between this area right here. We're in the upper part of the channel. If we get a break of the channel, we're looking at this area as being the targets. Right now, we're looking to get a bounce off of the 62 on the 5-minute chart, and or a break above the wedge up into this area. I'd like to see a close above the D. I'd like to see a close above this upper trend line, and with some strength to push it on up to where this target zone is. And if it goes through here, there's another area right up in this area that would be the next target. This is a blue fib line, which has a lot of strength to it. So there's could be some, could make an interesting range from where we have a blue line there to a, this is all the way from the probably, let's see, where did this start? Way over to the left here. You can see this move here started off the green line, and usually a lot of times we'll go from green to green or red to red. but oftentimes you'll get a strong bounce off of the blue areas, especially on your higher time frames. So right now it's still consolidating, no real clear direction right now. The RCS tool is not giving us any real clear direction. The US and Swiss are battling it out on the 5 minute, and on the, and we are starting to get a 3-point spread on the 15. We have 4-point on the 1 minute. So right now it's starting to show some revived strength to the upside.
Yeah, well, I think it might break above, because if you mark up where the Asian session is, and you mark up the highs and the lows of that session, it broke its high how many, 1 or 2 hours ago, and it bounced off of that a couple of times.
And that was right around the 5 o'clock area. What time was it on your time?
Well, for me, that's wait a minute. It broke the Asian session high at 11:15, so -5 or 6, I believe.
Maybe about 1 o'clock. Okay. It's 6 o'clock in the morning that'd be about 6 o'clock. So yeah, that'd be right around the 5 o'clock time frame.
And then it bounced.
It broke that and bounced off of that.
A couple of times. So yeah, if it breaks, if it closes below that Asian high again, I might see it going short, but I don't see that coming actually, because there's a lot of resistance there. Price rejected off of what is this, 92,715 multiple times, or that area at least.
You're right here. Yeah, 92.86 on this one, and on the high at 92.72 on the bottom part. So right now we're still trading in a range with no real clear direction. So we're just going to have to be patient, see if we get. Again, the Swiss sometimes has been acting very slow, and then it just goes back and forth for quite a while, and then it breaks, and then it breaks. That's been the personality of the Swiss here lately. So we're not. This one is not one that you have to be in a rush to get in or out of.
Yeah, it's kind of winding up, right? I think we got that alert a little bit early.
Yeah, well, the alert was at 7:30 was where the alert was here. And let's see on the.
So in theory, in the next 30 minutes or so, it should break out of there. Usually they break out within about an hour.
A lot of times you'll start seeing a move right around the 9 o'clock hour. You'll start seeing a move for a break.
Hey, I just suddenly started to wonder something. Does Russia participate in Forex, and what is its symbol?
Yeah, the ruble. Is it ruble? Russian ruble?
Rubles, yeah.
Yeah.
What would be the short for it?
Good question.
RBL maybe? I'm
yeah, it would be. RBL maybe.
I don't know why, but I just started to wonder.
I don't have a clue.
Not hard to find out.
Here's the little. I'm going to move this D&B right up to where it was all within a pip or two. I'm going to keep that as a reference. Move this on up.
I wouldn't even want to see how much manipulation's in that currency. Everyone's complaining about manipulation in Euro USD and all that other stuff.
Oh, it's RUB. Actually, the first 3 letters of my name.
Okay, there you go. Guess you'll remember that. Al, if it bounces off that trend line at the top, I might take a sell.
Okay. See how much room do we have to the upside. That's see, it's an 87. That's a major point, and so we're only looking at 5 pips to the top of the trend line.
Yeah, from that Just gonna see what's gonna happen here.
I do have a little bit of here's a high, lower high, a low, a high, higher low, lower high, right under this peak here. And right now this has a higher low. So this thing's still, there's our third hit on this bottom trend. And
Yeah.
we're looking for, see if we get a break above to head on up. If not, we'll just keep waiting.
I'm gonna see. I'm just looking for the right entry. It'll be an early entry, but I just went back to the daily chart because this is a really high extreme, right? So I wanted to have an idea. This is the only time I would go back that far, is when you have this kind of move that looks like it's just exhausted at the top. It's just such a big move to the top side. So
yeah, this area right up in here was a 3-hour top of a strong 3-hour candle. So this would be the retest of this zone. This is where that strong down move before this thing started coming back up. This is the origin of that strong down move, right? The wick and the body of that red candle that was way over here on a 3-hour chart. So it still has, it still has some room to the upside to get to retest the top of that wick, and that's still 12 pips 12 pips away.
did you take a trade or
not yet?
Oh, I thought I heard someone take a trade.
And so
No,
right now,
I just put a buy limit on dollar to the ruble just to measure how many pips it moves because
Be careful.
I don't even
No,
know what to
I'm
say.
gonna
I don't
delete
even know
it
what to say.
immediately, of
I don't even
course.
know what to say about that. So
It seems like
that's all I can.
Ruben, did I hear that you're trading rubles?
no, I'm not trading. I was just curious how that chart
On demo?
is. Yeah, but I'm not trading it. I'm not trading
Oh,
it.
good.
I was
Oh, I thought you said
I'm
you
just
put a
playing
limit.
around. No, I've put a buy limit on a price that will never hit, just to measure how many pips it moves. If you know
Okay.
by dragging my stop
You scared
loss,
me.
I can measure the pips. That's what I meant actually, and now I've already deleted that order. Don't worry. But yeah, I did blow yesterday. I did blow my live account though.
No.
You did?
Really?
Yes, I did.
What'd you do?
Well, I was stuck in a stupid trade from 2 weeks ago, I guess, that I should have never have taken. It was
And you couldn't get
just
out?
basic analysis, and I drew a channel and I said, "Hey, it's going up. It will probably keep going up." And yeah, of course it didn't.
Well,
So you
you're
entered
in
a
good
buy at the
company.
top?
Yeah, yeah.
I blew mine
actually.
too yesterday, Ruben.
And because of that, yeah, I lost half of my account, I think. But I also made 2 times. This week I've made the same mistake by clicking too fast to close a order in profit, and I actually closed orders that were in loss. So the combination of that is
Oh, you certainly
money
don't like hearing people blowing their
gone.
accounts. So
No, I know. That's not great. That's hard.
It's not good at all. Never mind, great.
It's
I don't
bitter
have any
pill to
live
swallow.
accounts left. They're all gone. Every one of them.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah.
it's a hard but expensive lesson, but at least I've learned my lesson now.
well, big
Because
just
all the other trades that I've taken were a good trade actually. That's the worst part
well,
about
thing
it.
is, have rules, follow the rules,
Yep.
and don't try to win back losing trades. Just follow the next trade with your rules.
Yep.
That's all I can say with that. It's
Well, the
sad.
Slater fiasco was due to the broker. It had nothing to do with what I did. So that's what I'd like to talk to you about later.
Okay. And so, is there anybody in the attendees that have any questions, comments, like to add anything to the conversation, to on the trade or I said this is kind of open line. We could just talk about, try and keep it to the trading part, but let's answer any questions that people may have, especially people that have been in the room that may have need some clarification on something.
Well,
again.
I guess everybody will be a good trader then in this room, since there's no questions.
Well, I said we don't say those disclaimers for nothing in the morning, saying that don't trade money you can't afford to lose, because the odds are when you're early on trading, your emotions, your knowledge base will cause some damage when you start trading live. You trade demo until you can be profitable in demo, and then you go live, and don't expect to do the same results in live as you do in the demo, because it is a different ball game when you put live money to it. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, it's a different paradigm altogether.
Is Christine in the room?
No.
Oh,
No.
how did it work out yesterday with her trading view?
We got her set back up again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got her set up, got her chart saved, and
That's awesome. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to leave you for 5 to 15 minutes because I have a Zoom call with David about an issue, but I'll come back immediately when
okay,
it's
we will
finished.
be here.
All right, we'll be
Alrighty.
around, man.
See you in
See
a
you
bit.
soon.
See you
Bye.
soon.
And it looks like this thing's trying to break out of the top of this yellow wedge. Like I said, basically, just so everyone's clear, is that this orange band is actually well, here's the 62 on the 15-minute chart, but we have a band, a channel, so to speak, from here down to here. And this is where we drew a bigger wedge to see what the channel that this price was trading in. If it breaks out of the top, it's going to be forming a new trend to the upside. But right now it's trading inside this range right here. So we're looking at pretty much either a bounce or break of the top of this orange trend line. And if it can't break through the top, then if it breaks through the bottom, we're looking at a possible retest of where the 62 is on the 15-minute chart. And I'll show that this is right, this one over here. And we also have the 15, which is right in this enter zone, which we would expect to bounce off of that as well. And that's really where we are. It's trading in a relatively tight range right now between the top of this and we're talking about 11 pip range. So if you do take a trade, it may be rather tight to get even your 5 or 7 pips. If you take it short up here, you'll be looking at a bounce off of here primarily, maybe a little bit of a break. At the best, you'll maybe get a break down to the 62 on the 15-minute chart. I'm going to take this triangle off of here just to clean up the chart a little bit. And it's still looking, so you can see where this thing came down into it. And the enter to close could mean just as much of a reject back to the upside, as opposed to if it closed, depending on how the moving averages are, to a break to the downside. But right now, either way, if it comes in here to take it short, would be a very tight trade with very little risk reward, very little reward for the risk. You're better off taking this right now as an enter to close to. If it bounces in here or gets rejected from this, to take it long. And we're going to see if it can break to the top side. Right now, we have the dollar is strong by 5 on the 15. I'd be looking at this thing could very well break to the upside over here.
It's just moving really slow.
As if it does break, we're looking at, this is our first, probably might get a bounce off of this one, but this would be the target that we'd be looking at.
Okay, so Janine is saying this has nothing to do with trading, but she doesn't have an unmute option anymore for some reason. I also can't see who all is in the room.
She's not a panelist right now. We
Right,
didn't bring her in.
Yeah, you can't see everyone in the room, Janine, because you're not a panelist. And the host has to unmute you.
There, you're unmuted.
Oh, thank you.
So you're free to talk. There you go. And actually, let me see if I can unmute, allow to talk.
Actually, there's
we
a
go.
question from Elias as well. Can we
Okay.
take a buy when it breaks and close above 0.92842?
9284. 9284. It's close above. I would prefer to see a close above the D. Let's see, which should be, let's see where that price actually is. We put it right on the D, right on this peak of the where the D is. Make this a close to enter. That would be 9286 is what I say. A close above 9286, you can take it long. I always like to see a close above this, a wick, at least a wick above the D, and a close above this body right here. So let's make this the enter. So I want a box right in here to enter to close. In this area right in here. The reason why I say that is because we want a higher high and a higher close than where this D candle. This was the pivot, was rejected. We didn't get we got a wick up to where the D, where I've got the D mark is. This was the body of the high, and it was rejected in this area. If I can get a higher close into this box, preferably with a higher wick. If we just get a close in here with no wick, that's a really strong move because that means it's not done with the move yet if there's very little wick on there. So yeah, enter to close. Until then, we wait. And same way with down below here. We have here's the anchor. Let's see if we have anything. Actually, we could probably take it a little bit over at this area. Put it below. Let's see. Part of the problem with this one right here is we have this moving average right here. I like to keep it. I want to keep this area up to where it's got. I want to see it close below this moving average actually. I'll make this zone a little bit bigger here. So see 76 to. This box is 4 pips wide. And so I want to make sure I want to see this 62 get broken and close below the 62. Then you may get a retest of the wedge. And we'll see how this works. It's still strong on the dollar. We still don't want to be taking it short with the 3-point spread on the U.S. CAD Swiss. It's starting to, this dollar is starting to get stronger relative to the Swiss. They were at 5 and 4, now it's 7 and 4. So the dollar is gaining strength. The dollar is the first of the pair, so we want to look to go on the long side. Now we did get a nice little close above this D right here. You could take this, I mean, if that closed with a pullback retest, I would say that you could run into a little bit of a trap up here, but it still would be, may help get your spread before it breaks if it does break. I'd rather see this thing pull the RSI's pullback. This little candle right here is a nice little pullback. You got a little hook here. If we get all these RSIs moving in the right direction to the upside, that would give us a little more confidence that it's going to break to the upside.
Sorry, I had to step away for a sec. What? Where are we at right now?
All right, now we're still having lower highs. This was a nice little break of the 2D, this trend line right here. It did break that, but still hasn't closed above. So we're still having, we did get a little bit of a higher high off of this, but it's still a lower high reference to this point right here.
You got a W in there. It's pretty clear. Check that out.
Right here, here, and this is the last leg of the W retesting this area.
Maybe I'm gonna have to adjust my top line of my wedge to make a flat top. Well, more of a flat top.
But the fact we have this W here off type, this is the first leg of the W. Here's the middle of the W, and here's the last leg of the W. And that will usually that will come up and retest the D. It'll either fall short or it's going to break through and maybe give you a little bit of a trap up here. So you want to be careful of that breakout. This thing should go up a little bit higher above, it should get up a little bit higher above the D. This is the middle of the W right in here. So I would expect it to come up somewhere in this area. See, it couldn't break this pivot high. At least not yet.
Looks like it's forming another wedge inside that wedge and is making another wedge. So that's
but being on the 1 minute chart, you're only looking at 3 or 4
5 pips.
here.
Yeah, they're
84,
small.
84. You're looking at this whole move here is only 4 pips, and that's with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And only 4 pips in a 10-minute move. That's just not enough to. I don't consider that to be enough to draw a significant wedge on.
No, nothing that holds water anyway.
This one, I believe, is significant because you're spanning several minutes from here to. And we're looking at 120 bars, so that's almost a little over 2 hours right now from where we had, and from where we had the alert. We're looking at basically a little bit over an hour from where we had the alert, and it's been trading inside a relatively tight range. Basically 8 pips pretty much from in the last hour. And these are the areas where you'll get yourself into trouble if you try to take these without the volatility to be able to get the, you should be able to get in and out your trade off these 15-minute wedges. If you get the good break, you should be in and out within about 30 minutes. And right now, it hasn't really given us anything really strong to break with. So we wait. Let's see if there's any other.
Ooh, that was a strong move down.
So this is still a lower high. This is still a higher low. We take the point of to the C right there. You can see this is still higher than the C. So it's still forming higher lows. I'd like to see a close. I'd like to see a close below the C into this range, and then this would be the target. But even so, with that as a target, we're looking at, let's say we use the A as a target, we're looking at 2 pips, not enough to take it. Unless you're looking for a strong move, if you're looking to get down to the 62, which is which would be a target to possibly try to work with, that will at least give you your 10 pips. You need at least a target down to here in order to make that trade worthwhile on that breakout. And if you got the close below, you could possibly get that. And we'll see where the 62 is. It's been moving upward as we've been going. So we'll just move that up a little bit, which tightens up your target a little bit now to the downside. I still like to break to the upside better. And if you look again, if you look to see where the hit is on our D, even if this is the high of the D, this still made a lower high. Excuse the dog in the background.
Okay. Is she outside?
No, she's in the house downstairs.
Oh,
Oh, it's not as bad as a crying baby or any of that. So
I'm gonna step away from it. I'll be right back. Now, Matt, you got the helm. I'll be right back.
all right, sounds good. So let's see what's gonna happen here. That's a really big candle, especially on the 1-minute chart. You probably still see his screen, right? Let me see.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant.
The one that's forming right now?
Yeah. So it's on its way down. I'm still looking for it to come up.
Wow. Went right through his.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. I don't know if I'm. Let's check this out. What do we got time wise? So we got 8:43.
I step
got-
away and the thing breaks down, huh?
Yeah. Right after I said I still like it to the upside. You know what? Maybe we're just gonna do the opposite of anything I say. It might work actually really
No, we're
good.
just not going to predict anything. We're just going to let the charts tell us what to do.
I know. It's just an ego thing. You got a nice bounce on the 5-minute 62 though.
Yep.
So I like that.
And look at the 1-minute chart. We do have a cross of the moving averages. I'm going to take this off right now for this one. Let's watch these moving averages a little bit closer. Let me put the 5-minute 62 on here. And that's right, bouncing right off that, right off, and that's right on a green fib line. Again, there's still no confirmation to the upside or downside to this trade. Anything else would be just a guess.
So what are we waiting for the confirmation then?
Well, right now I'd like to see, well, that's a good question. I'd like to see a little bit more volatility for one. I mean, this candle here gave us a little bit more, but when you're looking at a 4-pip range, till you get down with 2 pips on your spread and everything else, there's just no room for a target.
Okay.
No, it just means you're going to sit in traffic, just like Toronto traffic. You're going to sit there for 2-3 hours and get nowhere.
I mean, what I like right now is the fact that it's bouncing off the 62. If we can get these moving averages to cross over and get this consolidation to the upside, as this thing gets further down, and as this trends up a little bit higher, it's giving us more room to our target. Right now, we don't have enough room to either target. If this is our target to the downside, we're looking at from this move here to here, we're looking at 8 pips. I mean, but it's got to get through the 62. Now, did we get it closed below? We didn't get it closed below the 62. By the time we get to close below the 62, we're going to be in about 5 pips from the target. I would say at this point in time, if we can get it to come all the way down here, pull back all the way down here, and then give us the moving average crossover where we have room to the upside, that would be the trade. Or if it breaks this, you'd have room to the downside, to the bottom of the wedge for the trade. But right now, this zone right here is a zone of indecisiveness. And so if we can get a break to here, that's 14 pips. Here's our blue fib line. Here's what I like about this one. I like the blue fib line right there. Now this is see if I can find where the 5-minute line is here. This is a red. Is if we can get the close below, and we have room to the 15, you can maybe eke some pips out of that, but it's still not a real high probability. It would be relatively high probability, but you only have 6 pips to the target. You spend 4 to the dealer, you have a 7-pip stop, you get 3 pips by the time this thing closes. If you got in right now, you'd be down here at 72, target 69. You're looking at 3-pip possible gain to this. But if it comes down here and bounces, and we get the crossover of the moving averages, or if we get a break of this with a retest of if we can get down here with a retest of this zone right here, then we might have a shot with everything moving in our right direction with strength to the Swiss to the downside. Then we have room to our target down here. But I'm still looking at this as being an area of, this is kind of a trap area right here. You want everything to line up with enough room to make your target. And with anything less than 11 or 12 pips, I'm not going to try and take 7 pips out of a 12-pip move, because I know I'm going to give up at least 2 or 3 of those pips to the just for the spread. Give up another pip for a commission, and now you're starting off too far in the hole without enough return possibility. But if we can get a break up here, we can get these moving averages to cross on this 1-minute chart. If let's say right now, if this thing consolidated, it needs to go sideways a little bit more to bring this one down, and to get that consolidation right around in this area in here. Now this is an area to go short. I mean, here's the other thing you could do if you're so inclined to. the fact this was our area to sell, it broke through. Now, if it comes back and retests this area, you can maybe take a sell limit with 8 pips to this one. And I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. Here's a sell limit, and we're going to take it at right in the middle up here at 92.77, 92.77, and we're going to do our take profit, stop loss, make this 7 pips with a sell limit, and we're going to take that, put it in. Let's see. I need to fix this. Why is this doing this? There we go. Let's see. That's 10, 2%.
So we're coming. Excuse me. We're coming up to the 9 o'clock hour. Ten minutes away.
Figure out why I'm making this thing. Why this thing won't take a sell here. 2%. Risk $10. It's rejecting my order. Why is it rejecting?
No, because you either got to put one or the other. If you put 2%, it'll adjust it. There.
I'll see. No, see, that's telling me I can take 9 contracts.
Yeah, okay, that's too big of a one. What's the size?
Well, I've got like a $46,000 demo account in here.
Yeah, that's why. So that's the risk on the account.
Well, no, the thing I'm looking at $10 risk.
Oh, okay.
$10 risk. I mean, it's still rejecting the.
Even. Okay. Try it like that.
It's not allowing me to take the trade profits. It's more precise than the actual orders judgment. This is what drives me crazy about Wanda. Or
more precise.
Not just Wanda, U.S. brokers. Anyway, I was looking to try and take it in here.
Right. And you were going to go in what direction?
I was going to do a short down to here.
Yeah. Okay. It said 9,466. So maybe if you rounded it up.
No, well, let me try. Let me just say 10,000 units. Oh, I did take that one. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't think it allows.
Maybe that's what it was. But I was basically what I was trying to do is get it to a limit order to sell when it comes up in here. So let me try that again. Let me just take this one. This is my demo account. I'm just trying to get this thing to work. What we're doing is we had the breakup here. We had this as our sell zone. Now it's come up to retest that level. And I'm going to go with a sell limit of stop, target. There we go again.
Well, for now, it does look like it's having a bounce off of that Asian high, 92.74.
No, that's what that was.
Yep.
Anyway, this was the areas that, well, I'm just going to mark this in here. This was the areas to sell to enter. VAs. Enter sell right there. And then the target would be nine pip target. Now this is where we have some room to the downside. This would be our target. We had the 62 that got broken. This is right here. It got broken, came back, retested this area right here where we said if it comes down here, we want to enter. Now, here the point was we were looking at maybe get injured for a bounce because we had the wedge on that, but it also broke so strongly that this now becomes what once demand is now supply.
Dum, da-dum, da-dum, dum, dum.
And we have all the moving averages on the 1 minute are in the right direction. Again, this is still I wouldn't say it's a low probability trade, but it's not a real high probability trade. Look at our 5 minute chart. And the reason being is that we had the break, but we didn't really get a strong close below this. This is flatlining out. Move this over here. See, we move the wedge out a little bit further since this was a lower high. You can still respect the bottom of this wedge right here on this move right here. Here's the anchor. Here's a hit. Here's a hit. Here's a hit, and then a break. This is the new trend line. This is basically now the bottom of this smaller wedge, and the stop would be up above on the other side of this wedge here. But it was the top was rejected, and now we're pretty much right in the middle of the zone.
And we're waiting for the 9 o'clock hour.
And we're waiting for the 9 o'clock hour, which is going to be in about another 4 minutes.
Which gets me a little bit concerned. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll get these strong moves just before the 9 o'clock hour. And then when then we still have that 30 minutes before the U.S. market opens. This is still all pre-U.S. market.
Today we're going till when? Are we going until 9:30 or something like that?
Yeah, we're good 9:30 today.
Yeah, so I don't want to be sitting in no trade too long. I want to end the week off, and
now I do like the fact that this thing came in. It did come in. It broke the trend, closed in here, went lower, came back. Now it's retesting this area, retesting the wedge. This is the acceptable area for me to be taking it short. Knowing that I have this area that broke this is flatlining out. All of our moving averages are in the right direction. Well, not quite in the right direction. This one still needs to get above. This one's still a little bit low. We should not get a close back above inside. We should not get a close above where this D is. If we do that, I would say which is basically where our stop is. We have a 7 pip stop on this. Right now, the trend line's holding.
okay, that was
Our RSIs are down below the 60-40 range. If we get a nice little hook, it should go lower.
let's see.
Let me see if I can get another entry on this, see if it'll let me take it. Sell limit. Let me see if I just do a market sell. There we go. And I'll put some targets in here. Seven, and we have our stop this is 7 pips right up here. And so if we get a close, if we go to our 1 minute chart, yeah, the moving averages are crossing over. They're not really consolidated like they are right here. They're real tight. This one is a little bit bigger spread. So I would expect this thing, the wedge is still holding on this. I want to see a consolidation of the 62, 13, and 5, and then the break. So this area right in here is still a good area for me to still stay in this trade. I don't want to see a close above. This would be a stop target. This would be the stop zone right up there. Strong move up. See if it takes. This was the origin of the move. So if I get a close above there, I'm out of this trade.
Yeah, me too. So let's see.
Oh, you guys took this trade.
Well, this is a demo. I'm just showing the
Oh, yeah.
movement of this of these zones.
Well,
It's still respecting this strong move right now. It's still respecting the sellers in here in this area.
I don't know if we can still expect a lot of movement today since it's Friday. Maybe
I think
there
we get a
will
lot.
be, of course.
So I'm out of this. Oh, okay. I'm out of this trade.
Couple
Oh,
seconds.
and yeah, the 9 o'clock hour started and it's starting to rise again.
Yeah, here's the 9 o'clock. Yeah, we just got the 9 o'clock. This is the 9 o'clock candle. And how's our RCS tool doing here? We have dollar strength by 4 by 4 by 4. So yeah, strong to the upside on the dollar. Dollar
Yep.
just gained some strength at the 9 o'clock candle.
Hey Al, can you show me the wedge again on the 15-minute, please?
Sure.
Just for reference.
This is the this is the original wedge. Now it was an ascending wedge, but I want to draw it nice and I want to find this channel where it was from overnight, from the pretty much from yesterday's low to the overnight high. Here's yesterday's high. This is the overnight low. So I pretty much drew from the anchor to that, from here to, so this is the zone that we're looking at trading in. And so that's the 15-minute. And then we had another, once it came right up to the D, it formed another little wedge on the 1 and 5-minute chart. So right now I'm looking at it to break here to come up here for the target up in this side.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
All right, so I'm out of there.
As I'm still liking the idea of this thing breaking to the upside. If you look from a daily perspective, this is today's Friday. So this was Wednesday's high, Thursday's high, higher high. Friday, looking at a higher high. But you can see how these prices respect these 62 moving averages between the 5 and the 62, between the 5-minute and 15-minute. Now, if these were a lot closer together and they broke, then you'd be looking at, okay, that was they've consolidated. But it really wasn't quite the case on this just yet. Strong move down. Pretty much flatline these lows right here before the alert. We did take this trade off.
And I'm back. It's cold here in Belgium. Summer
Well,
has
here in
come.
Canada.
Oh yeah, it's always cold over there, I guess.
No.
Oh.
No, we get.
Well, it's supposed to be 26 here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's supposed to be gorgeous.
that's impressive. Right now we're at 5.
Oh, we're at 16.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No, that's not too
Let's
bad.
just say I couldn't go outside without a t-shirt on.
So for the Fahrenheit people, that's around 60, 61 right now.
Yeah, I don't know the conversion.
26 will be closer to about 78. Plan on taking a drive to Midland. You ever been there, Matt?
Of course I have.
Yeah, I want to go through St. Marie among the Hurons and go check out the fall colors.
There you go. Yeah, we're gonna take planning to take a spin down to Gatineau Park. It's a couple 100 kilometers in size, but we're just gonna go to one part. It's one of the nicer places. There's a couple prime ministers that used to have cottages there, and some of them are really nice.
Oh, I've never been. Is that Ontario or is that in Quebec?
No, it's in Ontario. Sorry, just right on the border
Oh,
of
okay.
Ontario. So it's on the Quebec side.
I heard Canadians are one of the most friendliest people in the world. Is that
We
correct?
are.
It depends. If I lose like 4% of my trading account in 2 days,
You won't be that
then I'm
friendly, I guess.
probably not the friendliest individual. I could be pretty crusty at times. Or if I
Looks
didn't
like
get
it-
enough sleep last night.
Looks like this thing's, the moving averages on this 1 minute seem to be consolidating right now. We'll see which way it goes.
Kirk has us beat. He says it's 29 and sunny in Jamaica.
Ooh, that's better.
For consolidation, the green moving average on this 1 minute has maintained its position above the yellow. And so this is a pullback that's still having some consolidation, but still going to the upside. If we get the crossover, it could come back down and retest the bottom here. Is there anybody in the attendees here would like to say anything? You can turn your mic on if you like. If you just raise your hand, we'll turn your mic on. Any questions, comments? You can put your questions in the Q&A or on the chat, preferably on the Q&A, so we can so we can see whether or not we answered them or not.
Nothing.
Nothing. It's a pretty slow morning this morning. So there's a lot of it's some activity, but you know, it's nothing real strong. Nothing real strong that's giving us our target zones. Even like right now, if we get the consolidation here and it goes to, we're still only looking at a few pips to the upside here. It's only looking at 7 pips to retest the trend line. I do like the fact that this green fib line hasn't crossed the yellow one. If we can get a hook down here moving upward, that should help pull the green back up in the upper trend and hopefully then widen the yellow and the white. And we'll see what happens now. We had the 9 o'clock move, came back, retraced, small little pullback. Let's see what a target zone could be here. We have a nice move up from here. If it does break the top, our target could be, we're looking at, here's our high, here's our pullback, and we'd be looking right up here to this first yellow line that would between the 78 and 1% if we get the break. But this could be, we're not looking at a big, huge move here. We're only looking at 3 from the top of the orange line, which is at roughly 92.87 to the yellow line. You're only looking at 3 pips. That would be enough to just about cover your spread and gift you a trap to take you out again. You see, even like where we got out of this trade, where we got in here, we got out, we're looking at it go down, came back, stopped us, we took ourselves out before we lost our full 7 pips. At least I did. I took it out before then. Once we got the close above here, we got out. If you did reverse positions right here to go to the upside, you might be about break even right now. You see there's a lot of activity. There's not much movement once it gets into this area right in here. This is the area where I'm looking at, we're having a hard time. It comes back into this area, wicks up. There's a lot of no activity. A lot of buyers and sellers are at pretty much equilibrium in here and in here both. And if you move this thing over to this area, you'll see it's about the same thing. Breaks out, comes back in, breaks out, comes back in, breaks a little bit deeper, comes back in. Now I would almost expect this thing to break to the upside. So like an upside down head and shoulders. If you look at from that standpoint, if say here's the left shoulder, here's the right shoulder with an upward trend. This was the fake out right in here. I want to see this thing close in here. If we can get a close in here, we're looking to probably go the upside. It's closed in here with a very little wick. I would say we could take it long. Again, you need to have a break. You only have about 3 pips to this line, but once you get past this area, which is also a blue fib line, then you have the green, and then we have this other target zone up ahead. But I want to see a close above here, and then if it closes in here and can't close above the trend line, this will give you an early entry. This would be, I want to see it close above here. Ultimately, I want to see it close above the orange line. But I probably should just move this thing up a little bit here. We got to close above this little zone right here. So we did have a higher close right here off of this little wick. Here's the highest bodies by the D. And look on our 5-minute chart and see what it looks like on the 5-minute. So 3 minutes before this candle closes. Dollar is strong by 4, dollar is strong by 4, dollar is strong by 4. It's looking good to break to the upside. Dollar is an overall 6 overall for all the currencies, which means the dollar is relatively strong. With 15 minutes to go before the open. This is a strong extended, this is 2 strong candles on the 5-minute. You have 3 5-minute candles that came pretty strong, no little pullbacks. This is a basing, so you have a rally, base, and I could see this thing popping up to the upside. On the 15-minute candle close, we have a close above the, right now, this little 15-minute candle over here. Closed above all these wicks. I'm in long. This is a little bit premature, but I like this zone here. I like the strength. Go for 7, stop for 7. We have green green bars on the hull. The moving averages, the RSIs are moving out of the 60-40 range on the 15, pointing up. Same as the 5. This is a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if it can pull back to the 40-60 range and then hook back up again. And the dollar is still strong across the board. And we have 17 seconds before the 5-minute candle closes. Let's see if that can close inside the zone.
Oh, we've got a question
Yes.
about the RCS and the hull indicators, if they are for free, Al.
Yeah, well, they're for free, but we just can't get them loaded into TradingView right now. We're having a problem with TradingView allowing it to be loaded into the script files. We're working on that. Put a word out to Anthony yesterday, and we'll see if I can connect with him today to find out what can be done about it. But right now, there's a problem with the TradingView side of this whole thing. And that's where we are right now. It's been we have to find out what we can do to get them to accept it in their scripts. That's where we are with that. But once we can get that worked out, they'll be free, at least for a time period. And we're looking at when they get the new pricing with Auvoria Prime, we're looking at bundling them up with the package of the when you subscribe to AIRIS. Here's the break.
Minutes.
And we'll see if this thing can materialize. It came right up, wasn't able to quite close above the trend line. At least not yet. That's pretty much of a bullish neutral candle that's about to close here on the 1 minute chart. That closed neutral, higher high, higher low, closed right at the other close of the previous candle. Couldn't get the close above. Now it's retesting these. We'll see if this thing will hook down. If we get across of the green over the yellow, if we get across over that, I may have to close this one out as well.
No.
But this one's pulling down, leaving the 8 period up here. If we can come down, get a hook, we can get a hook, it may still be okay. Dollar is still strong on all 3 time frames. Retested right now just came down, retested the 13 moving average. And all of the moving averages, let's see, we have a green, yellow, purple, and we have a green, yellow, orange. Yes, all the moving averages right now are in the correct direction to be going long. Here's the hook. Small little pullback. This is making higher highs, higher lows, and maintain this 13 moving average right now on the 1 minute. and maintain the 5-period moving average on the 5-minute and on the 15. And they're both pointing straight up. So that's a good scenario right there. And we'll see if we can get a close above the trend line.
Okay, Kirk is asking, are the Hull MAs available on MT4? I don't believe they are, Kirk. It's
On MT4,
probably-
I don't think on MT4 I don't think that's a common normal one that MT4 had. I'm sure there's somebody out there that has it. You can research.
Give me a bit. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody has it out there. You may have to pay for it, but I'm pretty sure
All
there's
right.
going to be one out there.
Yeah, it's out there. So, yeah, free download. There's a lot of them out there for MT4. If you want to use MT4, Hull moving average, make it 21. It's going to look different than the one that you see on your screen, but there's a couple out there. You just got to find one that's comfortable for you.
So I do like the fact we had a rally base. Looking for a rally, we'll see where the rally ends up. I mean, do a little retracement tool on this one. So I'm going to start down here where this arrow is, come up here to the peak of this blue candle, come back to the bottom of the red candle. And we have a zone right here, which is where our target is above. And let's see if we'll mark this up as the target zone. And we'll take this away so we don't clutter our screen. It's coming right back and retesting this area where it broke out of the top. Dollar is still strong even on this pullback. Still strong by 3. Retest of this zone right in here. So we basically got a rally, base, rally. It's retesting the base here. And this will be a key place whether or not it's going to go and launch on up or if it's going to break through this and retest this area down here. The green 5-period moving average has not crossed the yellow yet. Had a nice strong pullback. Tagged it. We'll see if it's going to cross. See if this is going to be an area of indecision. This is going to be the area where we have to look at. As long as it doesn't close below the 62 on the 1 minute, I'm still good to stay in this trade. And we have 2 more minutes before the open of the U.S. market. And you see over here, this down move is retesting this area right in here. Came down, wicked into it, couldn't push back up again. And we'll know in about 1 more minute what kind of reaction we get when the market opens.
Hmm.
And the dollar is still showing. The dollar just picked up another point. Right now, the dollar is the strongest as the market opens up. The dollar is the strongest of all the currencies, launching it to the upside. And we'll see if we can maintain the push. Still keeps rejecting this area right in here. Every time it comes up, the sellers push it back down again. All of our RSIs are still pointing in the up direction. Dollar is still strong to the Swiss. We are getting some consolidation in here, but it's still working its way up.
Yeah, and with everything going on right now, do you know what time the other session starts? Is it 10 o'clock or?
For what, Matt?
No, the other educator that's going to be using our room.
I don't know for sure. All I know is we have it till 9:30, so we're going to be getting out of here pretty soon. I think they start at 10, so
Okay.
I don't know for sure what time, who it is, or I don't like the fact it's having such a hard time pushing through here.
Getting a lot of rejection.
I'm going to move my stop up to. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. I'm going to put it right there on that fib line right there. Here's our 5-minute 62. It's all the way back up into this area right in here. Still a little bit far below. This really is basing right here. So if it does close above, it's probably going to go up a little bit harder. It's going just in a very, very tight range right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go, you guys.
Okay, Ruben, you have a good weekend.
Yeah, same to you. Same to everybody. Have a nice weekend. Good luck with this trade, and see you on Monday.
Okay, have a safe
All right,
weekend.
we'll see you later, man.
Bye.
Later, Ruben.
Hi, Ruben.
Yep, there we go. I just took my trade. I didn't even hit that white line that took my trade. The stop took me out, or the spread took me out of that. The fact it's been 5 minutes after the market opens and it's still rejecting from that, I was okay getting stopped out on that. I tightened it up because right now it's not giving me any clear indication it's going to break to the top side. Let's see if there's any other alerts at all. And so we got to get going here. There's an Aussie at 9:30. Aussies. Let me just throw this real quick at 9:30 at the Aussie US. Let's just put that on real quick. Clear the chart. And we're going to 9:30. And it was a descending wedge, so we're looking low, high to low. Let me draw it from this pivot high to this low to the side before the wedge. Here's the alert. This is my zone. If it breaks to the downside, I'd like to see it close below the D. This is pretty much of a flat line. And if we get a close, see, looking for the strength on this on the 15-minute chart, we're looking at targets over in this area. I would say we'd be looking at target into this area right here. This is where all the wicks are. And that's what we've been looking at here. So if it breaks to the bottom, you don't have a lot of room to the bottom. Only about 2 pips. But to the upside, you have a nice little move to the upside. So I'd be looking primarily, but you also have the 62 up here. $15.62 is there. And just have to wait and see what happens when it breaks. And on that note, we need to get going here. So again, everybody, thanks for coming this morning. We'll see you on Monday. Have a safe weekend and stay green.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
All right, take care, guys.
Have a good weekend.